the big message for today is actually how social media tends to be the biggest distractor for coaches and probably the least useful way of developing a business, even online. So a lot of people think, well, online coaching, I've got to develop a online presence. I've got to get into social media. So they get Canva. They start developing like their Instagram board, their 9 board. They invest in 3 or 4 different platforms. They get a video camera and no clients from it. At our last Coaching Academy call, our February call, I asked the people who attended, of all the coaches here, how many got one of their first clients from a social media channel? And not a single one said yes for that first batch. And only one had gotten even a single client from their social media. But if you were to look through their Instagram, you were to look through their YouTube and count how many hours were invested, it's probably a heck of a lot. So one question is, should online coaches in general be using social media, and how, in order to build their brands? I actually take kind of a contrary position. Most coaches, even online coaches, are probably better off not making social media a priority, not making social media marketing, not making social media advertising their priority. And it seems contrary because so many of us get into coaching, we were inspired by people through social media. Like, whether it's, a big name in strength, a Dave Tate, a Louis Simmons, someone like that, or in the evidence-based community, a Greg Nuckols, like somebody in that space, you find their posts, their blogs, their articles, those inform you. And so we're like, oh, that's how I found them, and we try to replicate that. But it's almost the same as one of our clients looking at Jay Cutler's program or Arnold Schwarzenegger's program and going, oh, that inspires me, I'm going to do that. We recognize as coaches that trying to replicate the programs of experts is a terrible idea. But yet we try to replicate these social media and marketing strategies of the figures that got us in here to begin with, and fail to recognize that that's also a terrible idea. So what does it look like? Oh, wait, Rich. So what does it look like to be a novice coach? What does a novice social media marketing program look like for a coach? I'll say flat out, for most coaches, online, in person, doesn't matter. Social media's primary purpose, the internet's primary purpose, is as a Yellow Pages entry, as an update board. There's a lot of places where I think they're actually doing it really well, who have local gyms, and local is all that they do. So if you go to their Instagram page, you'll see testimonials. That's always a big one. Like, if you get a testimonial from a client, great thing to put on your social media profile. They have updates for upcoming events, powerlifting meets, in-house meets, charity events, things like that. Just updates to keep gym members appraised. And it also lets people know who are coming to your site, coming to your social media platform, what is going on at the gym, and that you're active and alive. And your contact information, of course, how to reach you. Because the purpose of a social media profile for a novice coach, in person, hybrid, online, doesn't matter, is not to get new leads. Probably. Very rarely is that going to work. But instead to provide social proof that you can point people to who you find in your primary lead strategy, or people who find out about you when they search your name. What do they find? So a lot of our novice coaches, a lot of our new coaches, they find their initial clients through work connections or through their gym or something like that. That is where people are going to make the connection, be like, I like Matt, I like Rich, I want to work with this guy. But when they decide later on down the line, okay, I'm ready to sign up, where are they going to go? Your Instagram, your Google business page, all possible options. And all we want is to make sure that that page has a good picture for who we are and what it is that we do without taking too much time. So for a novice, that's all it has to do. If you really want to take up your social media activity as a novice coach, engage with your clients. One of the things that I think people way underestimate on Instagram, ahoy Greg, isn't posting, but DMs. It's engaging with your clients directly, sharing their wins. If one of your clients gets their first chin up in their life, and she is super excited about it and posts on her Instagram channel, and all you say in your comment is, "You did awesome, Kelly. Like, you've been working so hard for the last year and you nailed it." You are right there. She may choose to highlight you, she may not. It's her win. It's her day to celebrate. But now everyone who's looking in her comments is like, "Oh, her coach." You weren't stepping in, taking that limelight, but you were engaging in a way, and people who want to see that success are like, "Huh, that's how she did it." Same thing with DMs. Getting to celebrate your clients, getting to highlight them, make their successes public is probably the only really active thing that I would do as a novice coach on social media. Now, what about intermediate coaches? So let's take that down the line. Just like our clients, a novice program doesn't look like an advanced program. There gets to a point when maybe there's some advantage to social media. What would it be? Well, I actually recommend for most coaches starting to build content, you treat it like building your FAQ library. You are answering frequently asked questions, not by the universe, because you could answer any one of a number of questions, but by your clients or the kind of people that you want to work with. So if your client asks you, "Hey, I'm lost on my warm-up," you can be in TKC. You can write up a response. You can do a video in video. You can build it into the next workout. Or, I usually say and for this one, you record a video of yourself talking through it, or demoing it, or you make a carousel of like how you go through a workout, how you go through a warm-up and structure that, right? Reply to your client and then be like, "Hey, you inspired me. I made this post on Instagram." You link it to them, and now you have that content. By building up this fact library over time, and make sure that you're not wasting time, you are addressing your people's questions when you build this FAQ library. So it's not just going to be a time sink of nothing in your social media profile, but also it becomes something you can refer back to. So if somebody later on has that same problem, like, "What do I do for a deadlift warm-up?" I have on my Instagram channel my deadlift warm-up, the one that I personally use. And so when someone says they're struggling with, to figure out their deadlift warm-up, or I'm just introducing them to it, I link to my Instagram page and to that specific thing. Why? Because it shows not just I have an answer, but I have faced this problem before. As a coach, I've seen it, I've answered it. Clients just like you have this same problem. Easy. It establishes credibility without you having to say, "See, I'm an expert." The expertise is established because you have a long history of effectively answering these questions. So there's novice social media content creation, where you're not really looking to get leads. You are looking to have a Yellow Pages entry and engage with your clients directly. Then you have that intermediate space. You're starting to make content value, you're starting to add value, but it's for a very narrow range of people. Your people, or the kind of people who you want to work with, either way, your niche, if you want to use that term. And then advanced. So one of the reasons I bring up advanced, even because most coaches may never even have to get to this point. I would argue that 99% or 90+% of online coaches never even have to touch this side, but I bring it up to contrast it to what we've already talked about. And that is spearfishing or entertaining. If you want to use a social media profile to draw in clients, to bring in leads, to be your primary lead generator in particularly, because novices, not a lead generator, really. Intermediate, it might be a lead generator if one of your clients points to your profile because they're trying to help a friend of theirs, maybe it would be. If you want social media to be your primary lead generator, you're probably going to have to be an entertainer. In social media, you are now competing with the whole vast market of professional videographers, editors, cinematographers, photographers, all of them. That is effectively their primary job, and they are side hustling coaching. Whew! If that's something you want to invest in, that's great. Most coaches don't have the time or the interest. So they either need to hire it out, like a Liver King. There are big name personalities who, when you look at their description of how they achieved what they did, they have a brand, they have something to sell supplements in his case, and then he hired a media team to do all that work. If you're a single coach, probably not going to happen. The other way you can use social media in an advanced way is what I call spearfishing. Is you have a client who you are trying to rock, like you are trying to aim your content towards one person or one organization. I see this a lot in who are looking for business contracts. They're looking to do like wellness coaching for businesses, or they're looking to work with a specific athlete or in a specific industry. And they're using their content, high quality content, to target that person, that individual, and they know exactly what they want out of it. They know their ROI. It's not likes, it's not follower counts. I will know this 6-month campaign is successful if this MMA fighter signs up with me as a client. So that's honestly where I would look at those 3 stacks. Most coaches, social media is not going to be your primary lead generation strategy. We can talk about that another week. But rather, just to summarize, as a novice, it's your yellow pages. It's your way to directly engage with your current clients and for people who you meet to point them to. For those intermediate coaches who are starting to build a library, build your FAQ using your social media channel. Demonstrate efficacy, demonstrate your expertise as a coach, and have something you can point people to. It saves you time, right? If you have these things already built, it starts saving you time, but also it demonstrates that you've already solved these problems. And then advanced, you are looking for something very specific. You're not looking to win the world. You're not looking to become the next big influencer. You either commit to be an entertainer or hire entertainers to kind of help you, or you have a very specific ROI. You're looking for a contract, a job, a client, and hoping that something builds out of that. So what is effective social media for online coaches? That's where we're going. Trying to avoid that worst step of jumping to the finish, of jumping to the advanced as a novice coach. From Greg, I've always ended up coaching clients that don't want video pictures of their training taken for social media. I'm currently weeks away from walking away from all social media. Okay, so if I've read that correctly, then some of your coaching clients don't want any pictures or any video of them whatsoever. Okay, perfectly cool. One of 3, thanks Matt, appreciate it. If somebody doesn't want pictures or video taken of them, that is perfectly fine. Depending on the platform that you're on, of course it's perfectly fine because you're not going to take pictures of them if they don't want it and post it online. But more importantly, testimonials, like I mentioned earlier in the novice section, are a huge thing. Can you get testimonials from them? Like building a culture of testimonials and referrals into your practice. A written testimonial is just fine with Greg K. So it relatively anonymized, as long as they're fine with that. They don't need pictures of them specifically. Or maybe they don't want you to post pictures to your profile, but they still share somewhere, right? They still share on their own profile, they share to their family, they share to somebody else. So if they're willing to take picture or have pictures taken of them but not shared on the internet, give it to them. Give them awesome pictures of their successes. Give them videos of their big PRs and just let them share it. Like with their family, with their friends. Because in that novice stage, that's where you engage. You give them the control, you give them the power, and you just comment. Great job, man. You crushed it for the last 6 months. And this is and that's how you earn this PR. That's all you have to do. From Rich, the FAQ is a great idea. Very common sense stuff that I hadn't thought about. Thank you. And thank you. Honestly, I've wasted so much time on social media, it's not even funny. And following my social media is probably not a great idea because I'm going to be in a different place than a different coach, right? One thing that I always highlight people when they ask me what it is that I'm doing or something like that is I'm an employee. Yes, I'm a coach. I am working with Barbell Logic and constructing the Barbell Academy. That's my focus. That's what I care most about. So if you look at a Jonathan Goodman, he talks on the Jonathan Goodman show, or the Obvious Choice podcast now is what they call it. He is trying to become an author. He has had coaching periods in his career. Then he was selling a course. Now he's trying to become an author. That is a very different social media approach than what a novice coach should be doing. So whatever whatever social media approach you're trying to take, there's one takeaway I take from all this. It's don't make it what they are doing. If it's someone who you highly respect and who like you're just getting into the industry, and it's like, oh my god, they blew me away with the kind of content they're creating. By definition, they're already up here. That's not the strategy for now. That's aspirational, but we have to focus on here. How do we serve the people who we care about? Thanks everyone who could show up. I deeply appreciate it. Right now, we are offering $25 off our Online Coaching Excellence course, which focuses on getting into online coaching, how to do so efficiently, effectively, knocking that out of the park so that you don't feel like you're flailing online and can get in there and start serving clients immediately. That you can get at barbell-logic.com and search for the Academy. 25 is already applied. There's no discount code. It's just right there on the site. If you're looking to find me, you can message the channel that's probably up here, Barbell Logic Academy, or my personal Instagram at CJGocher, or you can find me if you're an Academy student on the Slack channel and just DM me there. All right, thanks everybody. Been a pleasure.
Actually, the sense of the thing, what it can